Hello and welcome to Asia TV Business Talk with Taha. Today I have a guest in the studio who comes from the world of logistics and networking. I take this opportunity to introduce you to Mr. Junaid Ahmed, who started his journey in the UK in the year 1998 and has been achieving one thing after the other. He has gained a lot of fame in the world of logistics and networking. Today our audience can learn how to network from Junaid. So Junaid, thank you very much for coming into the studio today.
Thank you, Taha, for calling me here.
What I would like to begin with is if you can tell us something about yourself and your journey to the UK.
After finishing my degree in India, I started working in a company there. Worked for almost 3 years, then I realized that I should move out to get more knowledge and experience. So I decided for my higher studies, I came to UK. While doing my studies, I then started working in a company which was one of the UK's largest and the oldest freight forwarding and logistics company.
So if I may take this opportunity to understand, what is it that you studied in India? What degree did you do in India?
I did BA in honours in history. I came to UK and I did my master's in business administration.
Okay, so from honours in history into business administration, that's quite a jump. That is very different from the background of learning history about the world and then coming into a thing like business administration. So if I may ask how this change came about?
It's something that, when you finish your schools, you have got different things in your mind that, this is what I'm going to do. But things do keep on changing as you grow. So after finishing my history honors, I said, no, this is not what I need to do. I need to go into a business administration because I need to get into a private companies, into private life. And that is how I did my business administration course in the UK.
Okay. And business administration then led you into freight forwarding and logistics. Was there any connection between the two, or this is a line you just chose out of interest?
It was just out of interest. There was absolutely no connection. I started working in the freight forwarding in India. I came here, I did exactly the same thing. Okay. Because I did not want to change my line because of course we already had an experience of 3 years back in India.
Okay.
So this was a good opportunity that, I got a job in the UK, which was giving me a new opportunity in a new market.
Right, right. And so now begins the journey of working for one of the largest companies in the UK.
Yep.
So if you can tell us something about how the job came about, what's the name of the company you worked for, how did it all start?
I came here in '98, and while doing my business administration course, I got a job in a company called Davis Turner. Which was around 150 years old company. So I worked there for almost 8 years, started as a part-time sales. Okay. And then within 4 years I was made permanent.
That's something which is quite an achievement, I must say.
Thank you. Yeah. And then of course a year later, in the 5th year if I remember, I was made the business development manager for the whole group for the Indian subcontinent.
For our audience, that's commendable. I mean, you have to learn how to come to a different country and suddenly become the regional manager for the Indian subcontinent. I'm sure our audience will be taking tips from you, Junaid, today. Thank you. Yes, please carry on.
So that's how it all journey started, and I worked there till 2007. And then, of course, one day I said, no, I need to do something new because you have been doing same thing day in, day out. Okay. And that's how it came to my mind that, let us do something. And then, of course, one day I started that, I need to give up my job and then start my own company.
Right. So you quit your full-time job to do something of your own.
Yeah.
So tell me, was it something like you woke up one day and you decided, I've had enough, I've worked for people, now I need to create something of my own, create my legacy in the business? Was something like that?
Absolutely.
Which came?
Absolutely.
Please tell me how you began the journey then.
Like I said, was working for Davis Turner for almost 7 years. I was getting really bored then. Doing the same thing. Being in the marketing side, of course, every day you have to generate more and more business to the company. So then, of course, I did spoke to my wife. I said, see, this is what I am thinking of. What do you say? I'm getting bored. Yes, my wife did got a bit nervous because we got married only 3 months back.
Oh, wow.
Came back from India. And then, of course, she supported me. And then, of course, the next day I went and I spoke to my boss. I said, see, this is what I am thinking of doing. What do you say? And it was it was in fact good of my boss that of course he didn't stop me. One thing he did said was, yes, if I would have going to a new job or a new company, then he could have stopped me.
Okay.
But then I said, no, I'm not joining anywhere else. I'm going to start my own business. So he supported me and he said, please go ahead and do it.
Okay. So I will ask you a very personal question here. So you got married 3 months before you took this decision.
Yeah.
And your wife obviously must have got a bit nervous.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
how did you convince her? Because, you know, she's your partner, 50% of her, your decisions come from her. So it wouldn't be easy to convince, because convincing your partner is one of the most difficult thing to start a business. So how did you overcome that part?
I didn't have to convince her because she was numb.
Okay.
She didn't say anything. She said, okay, you do whatever you think is the best.
Okay.
And then of course I said, see, let me give a trial. We'll see how it goes for a year or two.
Okay.
And then of course we might come back to job if it doesn't work. But at least I will never have a regret in my life.
True.
That I didn't do what I wanted to do.
True. So you took the leap of faith and you took the risk and you started your own business.
Absolutely. It's what I would say, it was a societal risk because I didn't have anything with me. I didn't have any savings. I didn't have any background of the business. It was just in my mind that, okay, I have to do something.
Okay.
And that pushed me to start my own company.
Okay. So here I will ask you, give us an insight of your company. How did you start it? How did you name it? How did you brand it? How did you think about the logo? How did you think about the website? All those kind of things.
Right. I started this with my partner, and unfortunately is no more in this world now.
I'm sorry to hear that.
His name was Vedwardhan. We call him Manu.
Okay.
So he gave the name to the company. He gave the logo to the company. And I was the driving force to the company.
Okay.
So yeah, first few months was really difficult because we didn't have anything. He was not from the same background. He was a doctor.
Okay.
But he was supporting me a lot in starting up the company. So yeah, in fact, one day we just...
The interesting thing is you start a business, and that too you start with a doctor, not a
Absolutely.
person from a business background. So I would say to the audience that, you know, this is something to learn again, that you don't need people from the business background to do a business.
No.
They can be from any other business background.
Absolutely.
Okay, or they could be from any other professional background. So was it just logistics, or were you into tourism, travel, something like that also?
No, it was pure logistics because that was my background.
Okay.
So the best thing would have been to get into the same field to which you have been doing.
Yeah.
I had around roughly 10 years of experience when I started the company.
Right.
So you had the connections, you had the customers, you had everything. The only thing which you were lacking, of course, was the money.
Right.
But then, of course, you had a few people motivating you, which was the driving force.
Right. So I'll come to the money part in a minute. Working in a professional environment in a big company, you gain a lot of experience, customer service, team building, different departments in the company, managing different areas of the company. Was that an experience you brought into your own business?
Oh, absolutely. Because when I started the company, like I said, Manu was there. Manu, he was behind me, but since he was not from the same background, I was doing everything. For the first 3 years, you can say, I was doing the customer service, I was doing the accounting, I was doing the marketing.
Wow.
So everything was being done by me.
Okay.
I mean, I remember I used to start work at 8 in the morning till 10 in the evening.
Right. So it was a one-man show.
It was absolutely purely one-man show for the first 3 years.
Congratulations. That's an amazing achievement, guys. And I think you need to learn that you don't need a team of 10 to start a business.
No.
It could be just one person, and that one person can grow the business into such a big company. Junaid, here I will ask you, money-wise, financially, were the banks supportive? Did you have a financial institution helping you? How did you manage to raise the finances for your business?
No, there was no one. The bank, of course, they don't give you anything when you initially start the business. Everything was funded by us.
Okay.
Okay, in a sense that, okay, we have to take care of my monthly livings. Yes, of course, like I said, Manu was again there to help me whatever he can financially. In terms of the saving, we didn't have anything.
Okay.
So it was like every day you earn something, and that is how you take out, and then you survive.
Right, right. So it was a difficult period of your life.
Oh, first few years, I would say first at least three years was very difficult.
And then you had your wife as well.
Absolutely, yes.
And she was supportive all this time?
Oh, she was supportive. She immediately, of course, she took a job. She was in the teaching line.
Yeah.
So she got a job. So
that's very good.
Little bit, of course, was coming from there.
So maybe today is a day you can thank her on TV and say thank you very much.
Absolutely, thank you so much, Afrin.
That's very good. That's very good. So tell me about the team in your company. Who's behind now that you have grown in the last 10 years, if I'm right?
It's exactly 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that too. 10th anniversary of a company, successful company in London. Again, I'll come to the point where we will talk about how immigrants come to UK and set up such great businesses. So tell me more about the team you have. How many people work for you? And what are their backgrounds? How did they land up with the job with you?
Currently, we have around 7 people in the company.
Okay.
My wife being one of them.
That's very good.
I never had anyone from the same background. I took all the freshers from the market. I trained them personally.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, they did a training with the BIFA and other places.
Okay.
And, of course, yeah, that's how I built up my team. I mean, of course, I didn't, sorry. Yeah?
No, please carry on.
We didn't advertise the job anywhere. It was all through the word of mouth. I handpicked the people through recommendations.
Okay.
Roughly around, it took me 3 to 6 months to train them.
Mm-hmm.
And touch wood, they're all performing excellently well in the company.
That's very good. So all freshers.
All freshers.
All freshers taken, trained and molded by you into the business.
Because you can't at that point, you can't afford to have experienced people in the company because they're going to charge you more.
Wow, that's a good point to make a note of. So for our audience, you used the word BIFA. Can you give a better name to BIFA as in the full form of BIFA?
BIFA is British International Freight Forwarder Association.
Okay.
Most of the freight forwarders, we become a member of the BIFA, where BIFA supports us a lot on various aspects of the industry.
Okay.
Even today, even after say 20 years of experience, you do get stuck. You are not a born genius.
Okay.
So whether we get any problems or anything, we always consult BIFA, saying like, okay, this is the problem we are facing.
Okay.
So what should we do now?
Right.
Because, like I said, there are so many terms and the conditions of the different service providers, shipping lines, or the airlines which you are not at all aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what we pay BIFA for. So BIFA comes in if you have got any problem with the shipping lines or the transporters or the airlines or whoever your service providers are.
Okay.
So you speak to BIFA and then BIFA guides you.
Okay.
So it is always advisable that, of course, you become a member of the BIFA.
Okay. So for our audience who are interested in the logistics business, BIFA is the association you need to become a member of, and they will guide you in the process. So I assume any rules change, any regulation changes, they inform you about.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And it is worldwide. It's not just specific to one country.
No, BIFA is purely British.
Okay.
Okay, so when we trade as per the British International Freight Forwarder Association's terms and the conditions.
Okay.
So if say anything goes wrong in the company or if the matter goes into the court, touch wood, it hasn't so till now, then we get the decision based on the BIFA's terms and the conditions.
Okay.
One good thing about BIFA is that, okay, they have tied up with the FIATA, which is Federation of International Chamber of Commerce Trading. So once you are a member of BIFA, you automatically become a member of FIATA as well.
Okay, okay. So for our audience, if you can tell us that, how does freight forwarding actually work? How does a importer or an exporter approach a freight forwarder? What are the logistics involved in the whole transaction? If you could enlighten us about that.
I mean, say in short, our customers are all the companies who are exporters and importers.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, I would say in a layman language that we are a international transport company.
Okay.
An exporter can sell their goods, say, to some companies in China or India or anywhere.
Okay.
But then the next step is how do they send their goods to China?
Yeah.
And that is where they get in touch with companies like us, who we arrange all their transportation.
Okay.
Because if anything is going out from the UK, it has to pass through the customs. Correct. So we get the custom clearance done.
Okay.
Then it gets, of course, loaded on the ship or on the aircraft, whatever the requirement of the customers are.
Okay.
And similarly, when it arrives the destination country, it has to pass through the customs as well there.
Okay.
So we have got associates worldwide, where we work closely with all of them.
Okay.
So if you have got a requirement, say, which we in our terms call it a DDP, say for example, deliver duty paid.
Okay.
You sold a goods which has to be delivered to the customer or to the buyer in a destination country.
Okay.
So we get in touch with our associate, again, say for example in China,
Mm-hmm.
they will get the import clearance done, duty paid, everything done, and then they'll deliver your goods to your customer in China.
Okay.
So, and similarly it works for the inbound.
Mm-hmm.
If you have bought anything from any overseas supplier or a factory,
Yeah.
you have to bring in the goods into the UK. You just can't buy them,
Yeah.
pay them, and then you get stuck saying, oh, how do I take this back?
Mm.
So that is where again companies like us comes in between.
Okay. And for our audience again, if you can tell us that, terms like FOB, CIF, CNF, what are these terms? I mean, how can a buyer or a seller decide what do they need?
It purely depends on the cost. In the sense, if I say, okay, if I as an importer, I'm buying some, say for example, furniture from China,
Mm-hmm.
I might buy it on an FOB terms or a CIF terms or a CNF terms. The easiest and the best way is on a FOB terms, wherein the buyer actually controls the shipping part of the goods.
Okay.
So they can then decide, they can then negotiate with a freight forwarder or a logistics company, saying that, okay, these are the details of my goods which we need to bring in from China
Yeah.
or Vietnam or US,
Yeah.
wherever. So what the cost would be.
Okay.
So we get the details of the whole product which they have bought.
Okay.
We give them the costing, saying, okay, this is what your total cost would be
Yeah.
to bring it from any Chinese port into the UK port.
Okay.
We do custom clearance. We get in contact with the HMRC, get your duty, VAT, everything paid, and then we deliver the goods to your door.
Okay.
So this would be the whole cost. So you as an importer then know, like, okay, I bought the goods for £100.
Okay.
£50 is going to be my transportation cost.
Okay.
So the total cost of the goods is 150.
Okay.
So the best and the easiest way is to buy it on an FOB terms.
Okay. May I ask you, what is this FOB term for our audience? If you could tell them what it means exactly, FOB.
FOB is basically free on board.
Okay.
Basically, there are 4 points. If I put it this way, one is the supplier factory,
Okay.
then is the origin port,
Okay.
then is the destination port,
Okay.
then is the destination warehouse.
Okay.
So when you say you are buying on an FOB terms, basically your supplier is paying you the transportation cost, including the cost of the goods,
Okay.
from their factory to the origin port.
Okay.
From that port onwards till your warehouse, you are responsible for all the charges.
Okay. Okay.
Similarly, it's like CNF or CIF, which means cost and freight or cost, insurance and freight,
Okay.
wherein your supplier pays all the charges, including the cost of the goods,
Okay.
up till your country of port of entry.
Okay. Okay.
So that is the basic difference.
Okay.
And these are basically, it's only 4 terms. It's like FOB, CNF, CIF, or an X-Works.
Okay.
So, but mostly it is an FOB terms which are used globally, I
Right.
would say.
So generally, importers or exporters try to go for FOB.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Okay. So once the goods have arrived, so is it your company which deals with the HMRC and the customs to get the goods cleared, or is there another agent involved in doing so?
No, we do our own. You need to have a link with the HMRC. You need to have a batch codes for the different ports in the UK.
Okay.
So when the goods arrives in, you have got a link. You do all the entries, paperwork with the HMRC. HMRC advises you
Yeah.
how much the duty would be for that product. There are certain products which are duty free in the country.
Okay.
But then of course you do have to pay a VAT.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get all the details. We then pass on that to the customer. Customer pays either directly to HMRC for the duty and the VAT, or they can even pay it via us.
Okay. So it's just to take the hassle out and make it easier for the customer to come through you, and you take on the hassle of paying and talking to the relevant authorities to get the goods into their warehouse.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay, okay. So, which brings me to this question that doing all this, customer service must be of paramount importance.
Oh, absolutely.
So, how do you make sure that the impetus of this customer service is maintained throughout? And I'm sure you must have had irate customers as well. But give us an example of both. A very good customer and a very irate customer, maybe calling you out of hours. Are you 24/7? How do you deal in such situations?
See, customers, they do call us anytime they want to. I mean, that is the key to our success, I would say. I mean, they have got our mobile numbers, my mobile number, one of my colleagues' mobile number.
Okay.
So any out of office hours, be it early morning, holiday, Saturday, Sunday, they need the information. And sometimes what happens, they don't look at their emails, they don't see whether we have replied to them or not. They just pick up the phone, say Saturday morning, saying, oh, Junaid, what happened to my shipments? So you have to know what is exactly going on within the company. So I'm able to advise them, okay, this is the latest information about your shipments.
Okay.
There have been cases where I don't know, but then of course, I said, okay, I'll speak to my colleagues, I get the information from them, and then I pass on to the customers.
Okay. So your job in a way is a 365 days, 24/7 job then?
Oh, absolutely, yes, because you are working globally. Say, again, coming back on the China, by the time you are open, by 10 o'clock UK time, China starts closing.
Right.
By 2 o'clock our time, US starts opening up.
Right.
So you have to be round the clock, and that
Okay.
is what the customer like a lot about us.
Okay.
That they know, okay, if I'm dealing with GlobeTrotters, they can get information any time of the day, whether it's a holiday, early morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, 10 in the night. They don't hesitate to call us.
That's amazing. So guys who are listening to us right now, watching us right now, customer service is one of the most important aspect of this business. And as Junaid said, he is available 24/7, his office is available 24/7, and that is the success behind his business. Which now brings me to the point where I will ask Junaid about one of the things he is famous for in this industry and outside this industry in the world of networking. Tell me, Junaid, how did you gain this fame of networking? I've been told that your phone book has more than 5,000 people in there, and you can pick up the phone and call anyone for anything.
Yes, absolutely, because you're dealing worldwide. So any country you think of, we have got people there. I might not have met them,
Yeah,
but at least we know them, we have spoken to them. So these days everything works on a mobile.
That's
Especially
true.
in the last few years when WhatsApp come up,
yeah,
you are always on a WhatsApp messages.
okay,
So yeah, I mean, it's connectivity actually. And then of course all these years, it also in the last few years gave me an opportunity to get a part of UK Asian Business Council.
okay.
So that again gave me a bit of push in the market,
Mhm.
where you started doing a lot about the society, about the business.
Okay. So I am being informed that you're the president of UK Asian Business
Yeah.
Council. So tell me, in this job of yours, or volunteer work that you do in UK Asian Business Council, what is it that drives you? What is that motivates you? What is it that leads you to work for the community?
See, under UK Asian Business Council, it is a non-profit organization,
Okay.
where we try to help the upcoming businesses or anyone who wants to start a business. We try to get them connectivity. We give them guidance on how to start a business.
Okay.
We get them connected with the banks, with the accountants, with the similar customers if they want to.
That's very good.
So that actually you do like meeting people. So of course this all helps me a lot
Mhm.
in getting closer to the community.
That's great. And again, I've been informed that recently you organized an event for the Bihar Tourism Minister. Tell me something about it. How did that happen? How did you manage to, first of all, get in touch with the Bihar Tourism Minister? I'm sure he must be very busy when he came to the UK.
Yeah.
So you asked him to come to your event, and then you asked a lot of people to come to that event. How did all that happen? How did you manage to pull that one off?
See, we were informed by the Bihar minister that he is going to be here on some official agenda, so we contacted him.
Okay.
And we did a small event under UK Asian Business Council.
Okay.
Because there is huge Bihar diaspora living in the UK.
Mhm.
We wanted to bring them all under one platform.
Okay.
And so he gladly agreed to be a part of that event,
Mhm.
where he spoke a lot about Bihar, because we also wanted to develop a tourism, because Bihar is still a little bit backwards in the sense that, okay, a lot of people, they don't go to Bihar.
Okay.
They are not aware of what all Bihar have got in terms of the culture, heritage and all those things.
Yeah.
So of course it wasn't much of a business related, but then of course we thought, of course, if we do this, if the Bihar minister, tourism minister comes there, we can bring the Bihari diaspora under the same thing, under the same platform.
Good. That's very good. So you were promoting Bihar tourism, and I was told by my researcher that Paras Hospitals sponsored that event.
Absolutely,
How did
yes.
that come about? How did you get a hospital from India to sponsor an event in the UK?
One of our colleagues is the Vice President, Dr. Sarfraz Ashraf. He approached Paras Hospital and we did a lot of work on them. We said, of course, because there is a lot of medical tourism also available in India.
Okay.
So we wanted to promote Paras, who are doing really good job in India.
Okay.
In terms, they have got hospitals in Bihar, in Delhi, and there are a lot of more hospitals of them coming up. So they've gladly agreed to sponsor this event.
And did you do any kind of facilitation at this event? I was told there were facilitations. You recognized people, two of them very prominently known into the industry. I would like to hear about that too.
Yeah, we made the Bihar minister the honorary member of the UKBC.
Okay.
And of course,
That's
that
very
was
good.
done by our patron, Ruth Cadbury, who is the local MP,
Okay.
and Mr. Sunil Chopra, who is also one of the patrons. He is the ex-mayor of Sadak.
Okay.
So we facilitated him.
Okay.
And he gladly again accepted to become an honorary member of UKBC.
Okay. And I heard West Nottinghamshire College principal came to the event, and she is from Bihar and she has a vibrant history in the UK. She came here at the age of 20 and now she's the principal of West Nottinghamshire College.
I think she started her career when she was 30 or more than 30 years old.
Oh, wow.
And she has now become the principal of Nottingham College.
That is amazing. So UKABC does a lot of community work, culture work and business also.
Absolutely, everything, all sectors of the life.
All right. And did you facilitate whoever the principal is? If you know the name, you can tell our audience what the name is.
Actually forgetting her name.
Dr. Asha Khemka?
Asha Khemka, absolutely.
Right, yes.
Yeah,
So my
yeah,
researcher has done a good job.
Asha.
Whoever is listening out there right now, we can tell Junaid we've done a good research on him. We know everything about him, and
more than me.
But that is my researcher's job. She has to look at people. So tell me, you are from Bihar originally.
Yep.
Has Bihar been ever in the limelight in the UK before this actual event happened?
No, absolutely not.
So you are the one who's brought Bihar in the limelight in the UK?
Yes, plus what we have also started is with, of course, a few of my friends.
Okay.
They have started a Bihar Connect,
Okay.
where we are trying to bring in all the Biharis with living in the UK under one platform. I was surprised that within a month, we have got more than around 500 Biharis in our group.
Wow.
Which we were not at all aware of. Say, for example, I live in Hounslow, and there are 5 Biharis who live just 5 minutes away from my home, and we never knew each other.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So audience out there, networking, this is what networks do to you. You build a network and all of a sudden you realize there are people just round the corner who you had never seen or met before. Junaid, if you could tell me that this networking, how did the bug bite you? How did it come into you?
It just came. I mean, I don't know how, I can't explain you that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I like meeting people, I like socializing.
Okay.
And that is where it all started. I got the opportunity initially for UKBC, which was a turning point for my networking thing.
Okay.
And then, of course, because of that, Bihari Connect came in. We did quite a lot of events for UKBC as well,
Okay.
where we did quite an event with the African countries.
Okay.
We did a medical event, medical tourism event. So a lot of things we did.
Okay.
And it one thing after other started coming up.
happening. Okay. And tell me a little more about Bihari Connect. What does it exactly do and what are the future plans of Bihari Connect in the UK?
It's in a very initial stage at the moment. I mean, we only started 3 months back.
Okay.
The first step is to try and bring all the Biharis under one platform.
Okay.
The agenda is we want to promote Bihar
Mm-hmm.
in the UK. There is a lot of misconception about Bihar. People, they don't know the heritage, like I said, or the culture and a lot of other things about Bihar. So we want to develop the tourism. We want to bring Bihar on a world map.
Okay. So while we are on the subject of Bihar, there is a special place in Bihar where people say you have to go before or after you die. Can you enlighten our audience about that too?
Yeah, I'm actually not sure, 100% sure about that, but yeah, this is what I have heard. There is a place called Gaya in Bihar,
Okay.
where people have to go. That is what, of course, my friends, they do say.
Okay.
That once in a lifetime, they have to go to that place. It's a both gay as well there.
Okay.
So, yeah, that is there.
Okay. So, Junaid, now I come to the point where I ask you, with your hands full, with your plate full, what are your next future projects? Do you have anything in mind that you want to do, in addition to what you're doing right now?
Yeah, a lot of things are going on. Of course, the first thing is to make GlobeTrotters at least a European player in the market.
That's very good.
My next 2 years target is to double my turnover at least within next 2 years.
Okay.
The next step is, of course, to expand at least within the European market in the sense of, say, having an office or a office in Germany, Belgium, Rotterdam, all those places. It's not that currently we are doing business from all the European countries.
Okay.
We do shipments from all across Europe, I would say, be it Germany or France or Belgium or Netherlands, anywhere.
Okay.
But yes, my target is within next 3 years, I should be having offices in all these countries actually.
Okay. So expansion is the word.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So to our audience, here is a man who's built a business in the last 10 years. He is in the UK, he's in India, he's in the Middle East, and maybe tomorrow he's in the whole of Europe. And that is what you can learn. He was a one-man army, and today he has a business which is in several countries in this world. So, Junaid, is there a special message you have for our audience, the young entrepreneurs who are out there, budding businessmen who want to become like you? Do you want to tell them something?
Yes, I mean, in the sense like, if you have got any ideas, never be afraid of doing it. If you want to do a business, just go for it. Whether it's going to succeed, it's not going to succeed, that's the second part. Unless you start, you don't know. So be confident, have patience, whatever you start, definitely it will succeed.
Okay. So take the plunge, guys. That is the message. You need to have the driving forces behind you. You need to have the right team. You need to pick the right team. You need to get the right employees. You need to mold them the right way, and then you have a business which is successful. This is where I will say thank you very much. Thank you for watching Asia TV Business Talk with Taha. I'll see you very soon with another dynamic personality like Junaid, from whom I believe you all will learn a lot about logistics, networking, and most important, customer service. In the end, I would like to say, whatever the business may be, the customer is always right. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Taha. Thank you.